and Carol. Okay, let's get started. Almost everyone's here. So let's just, yet again, for those people who have turned up 3 times today, settle back into our meditation posture. It's actually quite good, you know, when you do this much in a day, you start to become a little bit more familiar. We're just familiarizing our mind. All right, so if your feet are on the ground, maybe you can have a little cushion underneath your feet. Otherwise, if you're sitting in a cross-legged position, make sure you're comfortable. You know, don't force yourself to sit there. If your knees are sore or you're feeling tight, you can put cushions underneath your knees. And then hands in the meditation mudra, thumbs are touching. And just shoulders are over the hips. And make sure your coccyx, you can be slightly raised. It actually helps with the spine. And you don't want your pelvic bowl tipping too far back, too far forward, just a nice sort of central position. So let's just imagine our spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the coccyx all the way up through the crown of the head, just lengthening. Someone maybe very kindly lengthening you. Head is slightly tipped forward, the eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. Tip of the tongue, the roof of the mouth, relax the jaw. Relax the scalp, the forehead and the eyes, the cheeks, the nose again, the mouth. You can have your lips slightly apart if you wish. Relax the back of the scalp and the ears, the neck, the shoulders, and the back. The throat, the chest, the arms, hands, fingers, and your belly, legs, and the feet and the toes. And let's just bring our mind to the breath. And we just think of the motivation for this evening. There is remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. So we're doing this purification practice to remove all the negative energy from our mind that might ripen as suffering for us in the future. So we're doing, of course, for ourselves, but also for other sentient beings. So just before we start, just bring the mind to the breath and just notice the sensation of the air across the nostrils as you're breathing in. Maybe slightly cooler, and then as you're breathing out, slightly warmer air. If there's any sound in your environment, any external sounds, just allow them to be there. Try not to run off and investigate with your mind to see what's happening. And just watch your thoughts arising, abiding, and they disappear after a while. Try not to follow the thoughts, make a story. Just allow them to be there. So we're trying here now to create positivity with our mind. So the first step in the 4 opponent powers is this practice of regret, the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of our hearts, your heart, your own heart, anything you have done to harm any living being today, anything you can remember from this life, maybe past lives, things that you don't know about. So think of something specific, an action of your body and your speech. For most of us, it's generally our speech, and then in general regret. And let's just remind ourselves the reason we regret is based on this logic of karma. We're experiencing everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So when we harm others, we're going to necessarily experience suffering sometime down the track. And we already know what suffering is like. We don't like it. We don't want more of it. So the logic, therefore, is to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen into suffering. So think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want any future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. So we'll also regret the anger, the attachment, and all the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And just think, I'm sick of this suffering. So think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? And here's we come to the power of reliance. And the first little section here is taking refuge. So we rely on and we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, because he has the methods that we can use to purify. And we're not asking the Buddha to forgive us. We're not looking for forgiveness. We are purifying ourselves. We are taking responsibility for ourselves by relying upon his methods. So visualize Vajrasattva above the crown of the head and imagine this is your Lama, your guru, your teacher, your trusted mentor, your spiritual advisor, however the label is for you, manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. And he's made of this Vajrasattva is made of radiant, blissful white light. And he's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus, which can be either white. In this text, it says white, but it can also be multicolored. It has this beautiful, radiant face and these lotus-like eyes. And they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for us. He has this sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a Vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. So we'll just say a little refuge prayer here. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So this next little section is about compassion, about developing compassion. So we really need to rely upon other beings in order to develop compassion. And in this case, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us. So think particularly of someone you may have harmed recently and try and develop a compassionate, kind mind towards them. And then the same for someone who may have harmed you, kind, compassionate mind, a forgiving mind. And the reason we do this is because, you know, they harmed us, they're going to experience suffering in the future. It's not nice for anyone. So the next is we're doing this strong aspiration to do this purification of for the benefit of all these sentient beings, and we must purify for their sake. So the next is the power of the remedy. So this is the actual medicine, the doing of the practice of purification. And so the first of these is we purify our body. So imagine Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful white nectar, sort of very forcefully coming from his heart into us through the crown of our head, and pours into our entire body and is filling us completely, and it pours in and pours in and pours in, and eventually forces out from the lower parts of our body all our negativities of our body and all the harm that we've done to others with our body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left. And just visualize that as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebawa Sudokaya Mebawa Spokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Lida Mebawa, Sutokaya Mebawa, Supokaya Mebawa, Anarakta Mebawa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Lida Mebawa, Sutokaya Mebawa, Supokaya Mebawa, Anarakta Mebawa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Lira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Lida Mebawa Sudokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Lida Mebawa Sudokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there is no way you could do anything but be of benefit to others now with your body. So the next is the purification of our speech. So again, Guru Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and enters to your crown quite forcefully, filling your entire body, except this time it forces up to the top of your body. So it pours into you and forces all the negativity of your speech, and it just overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and the lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, all this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sudokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sudokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sudokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sudokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Padita Dita Mebawa Sutukaya Mebawa Subakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebeyasa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahazamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Padita Dita Mebawa Sutukaya Mebawa Subakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahazamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutukaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel so unbelievably happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine that it's not possible that you could do anything other than be of benefit to others with your speech. How amazing. Just imagine that anybody hears the sound of your voice becomes beneficial to their mind. Next is the purification of the mind. And Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately now sends powerful beams of laser light from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills you entirely. So it's just similar to when you walk into a dark room, you switch on the light, the darkness is instantly dispelled. So just as the light hits your heart chakra, the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all the attachment and the neediness, the anger, the depression and resentment, anxiety, jealousy, bitterness, and grudges, all instantly dispelled. Not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebawa Sutukaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebiyasa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutukaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyasa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutukaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyasa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutukaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyasa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutukaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyasa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutukaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyasa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sutukaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyasa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of your own suffering, our own suffering, and the cause of why we harm others with our body and speech, are totally purified. They're gone. And think now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So the next is the purification of even the imprints of the negative energy of the body, speech, and mind. So this time, imagine that Guru Vajrasattva sends light again, and you can also imagine nectar, or you can imagine the previous 3 visualizations, either simultaneously or one after the other, whatever works. And if this light and this nectar fill you completely, and just again, remember eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. So as we recite the mantra, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebe Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Zadva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa, Sutokaya Mebawa, Supokaya Mebawa, Anarakta Mebawa, Sawasidi Mebi Yasa Sawa Kama Sitame, Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahazamaya Zatva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Zatva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Zatva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Zatva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Zatva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Zatva Ahum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified and not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So the next is the power of resolve, the 4th step in this purification process. And it's this really crucial step, this determination to try not to harm with our body and our speech and our mind again. So without this kind of, it's like a beacon that guides us. And without this determination, we're going to keep falling into the same old patterns. You see, this kind of helps us move our mind into more positive directions. We just make a decision. I'm perhaps not going to do this. So we think of something that we can work on just tonight before we go to bed. Maybe something is that our speech, you think I will not speak badly about so-and-so between 10 o'clock tonight and 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then you've not broken any promise to yourself. So try not to, it may not like a sort of a New Year's Eve resolution we kind of keep only for 2 days. Think of something small, manageable, doable, and stick to it. And then gradually you can build up. And after a while, you'll notice that you're not doing that thing anymore. It's kind of amazing. So then, to conclude, Guru Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you. And you think, my Guru's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind for the same thing. And Lama Yeshe used to call this union oneness. So next, as Lama Rinpoche recommends, meditate on the emptiness of the three circles and emptiness. There is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So just at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. And in this way, we think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. Perhaps you can think of things as dependent arisings, and perhaps even just based on the way our body is kind of designed and structured, the way we perceive the world is based on how we were grown up, how we were educated, and also how we're physically structured. So perhaps in that case, things don't exist necessarily the way we perceive them. So next, let's dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created this evening, doing this purification to all living beings. And we just think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings as quickly as possible. So now let's just do our long life prayers. The wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind and Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Lama Rinpoche, you uphold the subduers moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjana's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplish magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, savor of myself and others, your disciples, please live long. For Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please live long. And then for Geshe-la, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. Well, welcome. There were some people that came a little bit after we started. So welcome. Welcome, you people. And lots of love, everyone. Thank you so very much. I look forward to seeing you on Friday now. And have a safe couple of days and have a good night and sleep well. Lots of love to